I see them in the farm group of the dictator. These are people that, sworn in Idi Amin. These are the same people that legitimize a dictator that murders people for fun, that mows people on the street. And you won't hear them calling them out. It became even more unfortunate about 2 days ago when the Archbishop of the Church of Uganda came out under so much social media pressure and said, yo, I'm not here to save you. I operate otherwise. I don't operate like John the Baptist, because John the Baptist ended up being killed. You understand? I don't have to talk about everything. Some things need silence. Now, this is silence in the face of oppression. It brings back nostalgic memories of religious leaders of yesteryears like Desmond Tutu, who said, if you are neutral in a situation of injustice, you've chosen the side of the oppressor. If an elephant is putting his foot on a tail of a rat and you're neutral, you've chosen the side of the elephant. I mean, back in Uganda, we have a great religious leader. He was the Archbishop of the same church during the days of Idi Amin, and he stood boldly and criticized the excesses and extrajudicial killings of Ugandans by Idi Amin. He was killed. Today we have a day in his honor. And this is the morality that we are taught, to speak truth to power and not fear. I mean, we are taught that blessed are those that live for truth because the kingdom of heaven is theirs. But our religious leaders don't seem in a rush to embrace the kingdom of heaven. It disturbs me. We are told to emulate Christ. Christ spoke truth to power and even proudly took death. That's why we look death in the eyes, and we are ready to face death, because this is what we are taught. Historically, all great men, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and others, they were killed for the truth. And today they are heroes, and we are taught by our moral leaders that that is the way to go. Unfortunately, the same people are telling us that, compromise and don't die. So that has in a great way affected not just mine, but the belief in religion. As I conclude your question, when you're asking it brought back, I'm sure many of you have read Dr. Martin Luther King's letter from Birmingham jail that noted that the young people then were slowly losing interest in the church because the church seemed not to be as moral as it had to be. So for now, I'm not shy to say my religion is truth. My religion is love. My religion is uncompromising truth and equal rights for every human being.
Equal rights.
That also brings me to my brother's question: how can we use constitutionalism to put an end to gun rule? Don't look at constitutionalism alone. We use constitutionalism. I'm in exile right now. We went to the polls, we voted. We won the dictator. And he said, okay, you have won, but screw you. Announce me winner. And it went on like that. So my being here is not just to make a case to foreigners, but to also tap into their abilities, well knowing that it is not only the forces back home, but the forces internationally that are even more effective and more important. I remember when there was a raging fight against the apartheid regime in South Africa. Africans and friends of Africa were on the streets of America and Europe protesting against apartheid. Why? Because the force that held apartheid intact was coming from here. And the force that disintegrated apartheid came from here. We know, just like the force that held Idi Amin in power came from America and the West, the force that kicked him the hell out came from here. General Museveni has been receiving up to $1 billion annually from the United States, leave alone the other Western countries, in security cooperation and all that. But when we come to these countries and tell them, yo, we are not asking you to come save us, but stop sponsoring our death. Stop protecting the dictatorships, not only to the administration, but to the intellectuals like yourselves who have voices that are respected. To the American citizens, because it is your taxpayers' money that is being used to oppress us, whether you know or you don't know. But now, nobody can claim not to know because they are aware. When a documentary about apartheid was shown in America, it created so much awareness. And in a short while, the American government disassociated with the apartheid government. That is what we want to do, because we know it's possible. We know if America said we are not going to be associated with mass killings of people, that will end. But now, Muhoozi Kainerugaba, who is Museveni's son and also the head of Uganda military, will torture people on the camera, will torture the wife of a presidential candidate on camera, and the following day he will come out in a picture, an unofficial picture, standing shoulder to shoulder with either an American diplomat or a European diplomat. What does that communicate? That communicates that you're partners in crime, that you are willing to close an eye to this injustice for, other benefits. It shows that this great democracy, when it comes to Uganda, it chooses diplomacy over democracy. It chooses, if I could finish, it chooses, business over rights and values. And for us, we are telling them, stand for the rights and for the values that you profess. And I've said it before, I'll say it right here again, that if what Museveni is doing to Ugandans was being done by a European leader, that leader will not be in power the next month. However, you cannot see an American diplomat or a European diplomat from a democracy standing shoulder to shoulder with a dictator like, for example, Lukashenko. But now, if they stand shoulder to shoulder with an African dictator and it's all right to kill 100 Ugandans and you close an eye to it, shows that the standard, Uganda's human rights is held at a lower standard than the rest of the world. And for us, that comes off like racism. And if it's not, I don't know what it looks like. So our effort now is not only constitutionalism. Our effort is every means, every moral means, every constitutional means, every legal means. And that comes when we scream and scream and scream it out. Thank you.
We have many hands